All right. Good morning, everybody. How are you? So nice to have you here with me today. Grab a coffee or tea and settle in, and we'll hang out in a little fasting space here this morning. Got a little story I'm excited to tell you. Pat is here. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. 15 hours into this fast, and I'm excited for this video. Hey, I'm excited that you're into the fasting space here. Really happy. I hope that's a pleasant and thoughtful, helpful space for you. And excited to tell you this little story. I've had it on my list of things to talk about pretty much ever since I started the channel. So nice to take a little chance to tell it. Christy is here. Good morning. So nice to have you here. I hope you're doing well today. All right. Once upon a time, this was back in 2019. I had been working with people on fasting is about 3 years, three and a half, something like that. 2016 is when I first saw basically what at the time to me, and I would say still, a miraculous healing, someone who fasted unintentionally and had healing, a really profound experience. And then they stuck with it. And this was with type 2 diabetes. This is one of the first videos I put on the channel. And as I've come to see over the years, the study, the practice, this is the physiology of the body, that fasting is a practice that can bring health and healing. So I was just leaning into that space through those years. And as we got into 2019, it was becoming apparent, like, this is a really big deal and it's really unappreciated in the medical system. And I was having this growing tension between the opportunities I had to work with people on fasting to help people lose weight without struggling so much. I had been in this practice, like I think most primary care doctors want so much to help their patients to experience better health, help people lose weight. And, what I see, like, there's a huge tendency in medicine when we're trying to help people and trying to motivate people that we end up guilt tripping people and just kind of hammering on people. And so to find a practice like fasting that is just openness, that is like you don't actually have to do anything, and that it can be a practice that can help bring pressure down. I said, whoa, this is like something I want to lean into. But then my personal experience was most of the time, I just, in the modern medical system, it's like standing in front of the fire hydrant. The volume is so huge. I spend most of my time just doing this, clicking the refills, and I had carpal tunnel, and I could hardly open a door with my right hand. And so, I was talking with my wife. We're like, we need a break. We need to reset. And we took a beautiful vacation to southern Spain, and it was like just awesome. I flew into Madrid, took their incredible super train down to the beach town of Malaga, Spain. Anybody been there? Have you been to Spain? Have you been to Malaga, the southern Mediterranean coast? Let me show you a picture. Here's a little photo. Here's me on the beach. Me now on the beach. So here's the beach front in Malaga, Spain. This is in the evening. So we had our kids with us. The craziest thing about Spain, okay, they got playgrounds for the kids. The playgrounds have wine bars, okay? So like kids can go play, mom and dad can go grab a local Spanish wine and watch the kids play. And so here we were just hanging out. Kids are at the playground. It's like the sun is setting over the Mediterranean. And I was just standing there with my feet in the water, looking at this little coastal town, and just thinking about, my experience in medicine and and like the last couple years and what a change it had been in my practice to start introducing a fasting practice into, a modern medicine, because I'm all on board with modern medicine. There's so many good things, but then it's like we need a foot in both worlds. Like we need like the grounding in like the natural core human functioning and our connection to nature and the world that sometimes is lost in the modern medical context. And so I was thinking, like, how am I going to move forward? It was kind of like just this space to open and reflect in this beautiful space. And then I was having this feeling, I was like, if I could do anything in the world, what would it be? I was like, I need to find a way to take my medical practice and turn it really into more of a fasting focused practice, just so that there is somebody, at least in medicine, I didn't know anybody. All the doctors I talked to, nobody really getting it, that this is like really a tool. People like, I talk to them, I give talks, I present my research. People are like, oh, like, whatever, And so I was standing there, I just had the feeling in that moment, like, you know what, it's okay. That's what the feeling I had, like everything is okay. And you can just keep taking a step toward it. Take a step toward fasting. Every time I'd done that in my life, professionally, personally, I was like, things go okay. Things are good. I was like, this is something that you can lean on and lean into, trust as a practice. People been doing it for 1,000 years. It's like, I didn't make it up. It's not like just something. It's a real physiologic process in the body. And so that's when it was really sinking in, to me. Standing there in the water. Okay. Now, did you ever see Moana, this Disney kids movie, Moana? Okay, there's this scene in Moana where the ocean, the ocean is like a living thing, in that movie. The ocean like gives the gal, Moana, a gift, right? It brings her, whatever it is, this magic seashell, right? And, I was just standing there having this thought, and a big wave rolls in, and it sets this little stone right on my foot. I give you a zoom in on it here. And this is what I'm telling you about today. Here's my little fasting stone. So, however these things work, what is a meaning? Okay, meaning is what we make it. So this has meaning to me because I give it the meaning. But this little stone, the wave just sets right on my foot. And I was like, well, that's interesting, right as I'm having this beautiful thought about fasting. So I pick it up and I look at it and I say, well, this is really quite nice. Kind of hold it in my hand, and I say, I think I'm going to keep this. And so I have. And so here I have had it now for, 6 years or so. And I give you some reflections about it. So I call it a fasting stone because it came to me while I was really having a deep reflection about fasting. To me, it feels like a gift. It felt like a gift at the time. The way I have described fasting in general, to my medical practice was a gift because I had another tool to help people, and a tool that is often more effective with less pressure. Personally, it was a gift because I had always wanted to lose weight that I gained in my residency, and I couldn't do it. And I was so frustrated, burning myself out. I was running. Now I love running. But I was angry because I was like, I work out so much and I don't even eat that badly and I couldn't lose the weight. So it was a gift to me to be able to burn that weight off. Fasting space helped me. And so then kind of in there, well, this felt like a gift. I call it fasting stone. Like, what would it look like? That's what I was saying at the time. I don't have any great insight into the true, nature of the world and reality, what is happening in the world. But what would it look like if the world gave you a gift? Might it be like something small and simple that you can hold and take with you? So if meaning is what we make of it, this is the meaning that I have ascribed to this little little gift that came to me. And so I want to give you some reflections today about some ways that this tiny little object has brought some actual tangible help to me, and how it could actually, as a concept or an idea, be helpful to you in your life. We're living increasingly, do you feel this way, in a digital world? Like, I mean, there's pros and cons to it. Here we are connecting on YouTube is like a streaming platform, okay? And that's why I like the live, is like we're using this tool in a way that is more of a human connection, which I like. Interactive, nothing, it's not all, perfectly edited and polished. This is real, And so having something, okay, that has meaning, that you can actually hold, that you don't have to plug in, and it doesn't have a screen, is really a part of the natural world, right? So if we start to just zoom in and think about, okay, what is like a little stone? What is a natural object? Like, this is something, I did a talk somewhere 6 months ago, losing weight in a hyper-stimulated world, screen-free sanctuary, creating a space that is a bit disconnected. This is what I want to bridge with a fasting space, right? Is a digital experience, right? But how do we connect and share this space and then take it offline, into a way that is helping us to be increasingly grounded. Grounded, I think, is a great word when you think of everything plugged in and electronic, we build up actually charge from holding the phone, all this stuff. You actually got to get your feet on the ground or touch the ground to actually discharge this charge that we build up. We do that in the operating room, in the OR. Surgeon is stand on an electrically grounded mat so that there's no shock. I think we'd all benefit from more grounding. And this would be like more of a philosophical, psychological grounding, as opposed to like actually getting on the ground. So one of the thoughts I've been having lately, like, can we make a weight loss process more tangible? And, because it's, in a way, it's like abstract. It's in our mind, right? We're having to do all this thinking. We're doing, it's like we're thinking, okay, I'm going to eat this or I'm not going to eat. I'm going to have a fasting space or I'm going to be eating at this time. We have to make all these decisions, like I'm going to exercise, I'm going to not exercise. And then we can really be kind of stuck in our head. Do you ever experience this, where the thoughts are just kind of like going around? I've talked in the on the channel in the past that, I've struggled with anxiety at times. I've talked a lot about breathing. How do you breathe through an anxiety, bring down the stress, the pressure? Racing thoughts, big part of anxiety. And I have experienced sometimes when I've been like that, I keep this stone with me down in my office. It's almost like a little stress ball. Like, it fits right in the hand. This is something like to just grab onto it. This is what I've been thinking about. Do you have a physical practice of some kind where you have something that you imbue with meaning? That you say, hey, this is something that I can hang on to. And it's a metaphor, right? Because I'm trying to suggest that fasting is one of those things that you can hang on to. Do you have, or could you find some sort of physical object that you imbue with meaning, that you imbue with a story from your life, that is something that can help give you strength? And does it actually give you strength, okay? Or, you create the environment. A lot of what we perceive is just the stories that we tell ourselves about things. So I'm not trying to give you any magical thinking. I'm just saying that a lot of the way we think and we interpret the world is based on the stories that we tell ourselves. So if you tell yourself a little story about an object you found, like, hey, I went to the beach and the earth gave me a gift. Like, it's kind of a nice, fun thing. And you say, can you hang on to that and gain strength from it? Think about what it's like to, have you ever gone on a roller coaster? You ever go to a theme park? It's like you're going around the corner, you're just hanging on. And if you hang on, even if you don't hang on, you're not going to fly out. But it's like you hang on, you're going to get through it, right? You're going to get through the ride. You're going to get off that. My experience lately, going back to a theme park with my kids, I haven't had quite as much fun on the roller coasters as I did when I was 8. I go on them again and again, but I'm just secretly sitting there thinking oh God, when is this over? Hang on to it. So getting through either an anxiety or maybe it's a weight loss goal that we're trying to do. We're trying to avoid the snack. We're trying to make it through a fasting space. We're trying to finish out the walk, whatever it is. Something physically to hang on to is a mental reminder to say, on the ride, right? Hey, I'm making it through this. Everything is going to be okay. We're coming out on the other side. Everything's going to be great. Some people say, oh, the thing doesn't do anything. Okay, I'm not going to argue with anybody. Say, as a placebo, some strict materialist say, okay, it's not like the stone is not alive, it's not giving you power, it's a placebo effect. Hey, placebo is real, man. I tell you. Every study shows, look at what placebo does. So here's a way, totally free. Hang on to it. Help remember. Tell the brain, hey, we're hanging on. Everything going to be okay. That's my experience, that it can help. So can you find your own something like this? Here's another thing about it, okay? If you're going to find a fasting stone, okay, and it doesn't have to be a stone, it can be anything. It can be a little anything. But what I would encourage you to do, you gotta be out in the world to presumably find something like this, to say, oh, look what I've found, or look what came to me when I was walking. Now, maybe someone could say, oh, a family heirloom, an object from a family member, or something that has meaning. It could be anything, see? The meaning you create. But my encouragement for anybody who's trying to do this, see, getting out in nature, to me, is one of the very best things we can do in any fashion. We want to be healthy. We want to be grounded. We want to get back to some sort of base level of health. Okay, getting outside in the fresh air and sunshine and, by trees and plants and things and out of town, all these things. That's a really, really healthy space to reflect and connect. And that's a really good place to find something like this, something natural in the midst of this digital world that we find ourselves in. Do you ever have something like this? Do you already have something like this? Do you use something like that? I'd be curious to know. A big thing that I like about this is just simple. So, okay, we think about a simple fasting process. Fasting, the ultimate to me from a dietary perspective of simplification. You can't really get any simpler. Just there's, no recipes to your fasting masterpiece. Doesn't get much more simple than a little stone that washed up on the shore, right? Nothing really special about it. Very simple, ordinary thing. But therefore, it's real, And it's also, a stone is solid. These are all metaphors of what we are trying to program into our mind about a fasting space. Solid, right? It's the base layer, the foundation, like the bedrock of the metabolism. You want to build a house, right? Strong foundation. Another thing we can think, let's zoom in on it, is imperfect. It's is perfectly round. It's not like this line that is going through it in the middle is unbroken. Super metaphor for us, right? Because life is messy, life is difficult, we're all imperfect, we all make mistakes, we all have flaws or things that we interpret as flaws that we wish were different. Something natural, almost, you look at nature and in a way you say, nothing meets a definition of what we would say, maybe this isn't true, but like perfect, right? Most things in nature, they're like, the tree has little things. There's not like a perfectly straight tree. It's rare that you find something perfect. In the imperfection is the perfection. If someone say nature is perfect, maybe it is. Like it's a cycle. It's just everything works together. Like we bring these preconceived notions of perfection and then we judge everything. So I look at something like this and it reminds me, like, this is beautiful in and of itself. It's just the way it should be. It's the way it is. And it reminds me, like, you don't have to be perfect. The things that you might judge yourself for as flaws are actually part of the whole thing that makes it what it is and beautiful. And any natural thing, you can kind of get to that place. And so this is a big tangible reminder to me. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. I like to say that. Keep moving forward. Don't judge yourself too harshly. Another thing I think about when I look at this is just to recognize that it's ancient. Ancient is a word when I think of this. Like a stone, like think of the process that went through to form this. And when did it happen? These layers, I'm not a geologist, but these layers, presumably liquid at some point, it was part of some massive formation. Who knows how it got shattered into bits and then rolled around for millennia in the ocean to smooth it down into this beautiful little disc. This thing's been on a journey itself, for eons. And then so many thoughts that you can think about with something like that, right? It's been on a journey for eons. Okay, we're on a journey, a weight loss journey, contrary to what everybody wants to sell, is really a long process. And, can you lose weight quickly? Can you dial in, not simple fasting, but radical fasting and lose a lot of weight quickly? Can you add special drugs and get a surgery? Is it possible to lose weight fast? It is, yeah. But the thing of it is that even if you lose weight fast, you're still on the same path to the ultimate place. We're still on the same trail. You have to maintain that. I've seen many, many people who have lost weight quickly and struggled to maintain it and bounce back. And to me, I always say that's not optimal. It's usually better to lose weight more slowly, but sustainably. So you understand it and can control it so that it's not these wild swings. Something ancient that you can hang on to. Help you realize, like, we're on a lifelong path here of health. We're not trying to, like, change, what has happened in the past. Like, it's all like a flow through time. Helps us to think longer term, helps take the pressure down. So helpful. Yeah, like I was saying, how was this formed? This was formed in a process. This wasn't just formed one day. It didn't just happen in a day. Just like a weight loss process, it doesn't happen overnight. Formed through a process. I really want everybody to think of weight loss as a process. Okay? We are being formed, something, we are natural, as being formed like something natural from the earth through a process into something beautiful, right? We're moving towards something beautiful, whatever that means to you. Probably the most beautiful is a space of mental peace and contentment and acceptance. And then from a space like that, okay, wherever the weight settles out, hey, it's okay. We're not stressing about numbers on a scale. We're finding a space. We're releasing ourselves from codependency with food. We're recognizing the strength and the power of the human body, that we are strong and capable people, that we are not so dependent on constant food and consumption. Yeah, the processes that form it, shape it, right? Like, presumably, 100,000 years ago, this thing was like a jaggedy rock, right? But the process smoothed it out. There would be like a physical reminder for the body. Fasting like waves in the ocean on the body. If we're like physically, we're trying to slim down, right? We're trying to lose weight, bring the body to a leaner, stronger place, okay? Fasting like waves in the ocean, smooth that down over time. How are you doing with this? Do you like these thoughts? Is it ringing true? Let me know what you think. I'm going to keep staring at my little stone. I'll put the picture back up and we try to dive in. Let me give you more thoughts on it. Jen is here. Hello. Welcome. So nice to have you here. I don't know if it's interesting. I can't see like who has been here, who isn't. I don't know if you have seen where we're going along, but I told the story of how I found my little fasting stone. And now we are gaining more insight from it. This is what I've done over the years. I look at my beautiful little fasting stone, and then I try to gain insight from it. That we can use to help us move forward in health. So here's a beautiful stone, zooming in. All right, let's keep going. Let's get more thoughts. Oh yeah, sometimes I just think, okay, the stone came from Spain, all right? Have you been to Spain? One of the biggest thoughts that I had as I was in Spain is I sit around on the beach in Spain and you do not see an overweight person, okay? As a weight loss specialist, okay, as someone who's spending every day, in my professional life, try to help people be healthy. And I think, well, look at this. I'm sitting on a beach in Spain. Think of that compared to like being anywhere, in America, being on a beach in America, being in a city in America, which is, of course, where I'm spending most of my time. It was striking. And so, the experience in Spain, I mean, people walking everywhere, people walking from out of town into town to get their groceries from the market, and they're buying just these beautiful, incredible, fresh foods, pomegranates and apricots and almonds, and they're just eating all this fresh stuff, incredible oranges like I've hardly ever had even in Florida, and all this incredible Mediterranean food, and everybody walking around everywhere. And it seems like a natural component of fasting built into a lot of culture there, because like breakfast isn't so much of a thing. A lot of people hitting the cafe and having a coffee before work. And then people having a big lunch, people going and having a big lunch And then they take a little nap in the afternoon, and then they go back and work for a while. It's just a different vibe, a different setup. And so I was reflecting. I was like, okay, I need to learn about health from people here. Is they're just eating such natural, healthy foods. They have this different rhythm. They're walking everywhere. It's like a healthy culture. I was like, man, I want to be in a healthy culture. Okay. I was just feeling so inspired. So this thing is it came from Spain. So this is bringing a bit of the Mediterranean right to me. And so then when I think about it too, I think about, okay, Mediterranean lifestyle, Mediterranean diet, the walking, the whole package, total health is coming to me every time I look at this. Pat says, great story. I have something similar. Get it out today to have it with me while I ride the hunger waves. Yeah, I like that. Just hang on to it is something that, it's a little thing, but it can really help. I think just as an analogy, and then also just physically, to get out of our head. When you're squeezing something, you're squeezing that muscle, right? It's getting the focus out of the mind. You're having racing thoughts. You're focusing. We can't really focus, right, on more than one thing at a time. And so that's part of what breathing does. If you're stressing out, you're like, oh my God, I want to eat the thing. I want to eat the thing. If you're just thinking of it, you just, it cycles. You get your special thing. Okay, now you realize, hey, man, arm is squeezing, tight, tension. Now the focus is here. We're getting out of the head into something else. And like I've said in previous videos, right? Hunger's a wave, like you say. You make it through the wave. It feels like in the moment, do you experience it this way? I'm never going to get out. This is never going to end, okay? But you know that it will. And when you can get out of your head a little bit, then it gets easier to remember, oh, this is going to pass. Hanging on to the roller coaster. We're going to get around the thing. The ride's going to be over. And then have you experienced that where you make it through the hunger wave, right? And then you feel great. And you're like, oh, it wasn't so bad. Why was I so stressed out about it? But it doesn't feel like that in the moment, right? But as you gain proficiency with fasting, you get better and better at understanding it and getting used to it. And then, so part of it is building the skill of getting used to it. And then part of it is the body actually just getting stronger and the body not, freaking out what is happening? It's the body's like, oh, I know what we're doing now. Because in the real healthy physiology in the body, it should be seamless. Transition between fed state, fasting state, seamless because the body's used to it. Body's like, okay, we're burning this energy, whole digestive system, whole metabolism integrated. Body knows in real time, where's the energy? It knows how much food is coming in the GI tract before you've absorbed it. It's getting ready to handle it and utilize it or store it, and the body knows. And so as we're practiced at doing it, the body's like, okay, especially as we get in a cycle, nothing totally magic about a cycle. Some people say if I'm doing 16-8 or OMAD, do I have to have my meal at the same time every day? Of course you don't. No magic to it. It does not matter. From an efficacy standpoint, too much. But what it matters is that the body gets used to when we eat using hormones to control our patterns. So if you're struggling with hunger, if you line up your eating routinely at the same time, the body comes to expect it, helps to align the digestive hormones, and it can make the hunger we experience line up at the times we're usually eating. That's kind of the little bonus part of it. And so if people struggling with hunger, I say, hey, you can have a lot of benefit from a routine so that the hormonal pathways line up in the body. But if you're not really struggling with it, and you say the other side of it is the flexibility, and I just love that fasting can be so flexible. You can do OMAD one day, 16-8 another day, don't fast one day, and hit it hard a different day. And you can be totally fitted into your life in the pattern that is most helpful. All right. Let's go back. Let's get back to our stone and see. I think I can squeeze a few more insights out of it. A stone is small. You can take it with you. So think about that. That's great. This is the analogy. Just like you can take fasting with you. The thing that is so nice about fasting, it's nothing. It's completely portable, right? You can take it on vacation. You can take it on a work trip. You can take it to work. You can take it anywhere. It's not like you're on some special carnivore diet where you can only have organic grass-fed beef, and if you can't get it, then your whole diet is ruined. You know, some crazy expensive thing. Fasting is nothing. You can take it with you just like this. And so if you have an object like this, can remind you, if you're trying to lose weight, you can take something like this with you. And if you're taking it with you, can help to be a physical reminder with you. Oh, I can bring fasting with me. This is like my little fasting object. This is keeping this as a priority. Like, is weight loss or fasting for any health reason, is it a priority in your life? Can be hard to keep it top of mind, right? Because we have so many distractions, we have so many responsibilities and things to do and we're going here and there. And it's like, can you even keep, I got like a to-do list on my phone, and it's like just trying to remember like all the stuff I'm trying to do, don't miss anything. It's like it can be hard to like keep the real priority top of mind, right? I think, what is the quote? It's like, don't let the urgent overwhelm the essential. That's like a paraphrase, right? So like there's the essential things, right? That are like supporting the health and wholeness of the body. That's like essential. It's hard for us to have a good, healthy, optimized, functional life if we're not optimizing that base layer, the essential health of the body, right? But there's so many things that are more urgent. We got to go get the groceries, and we got to get the kids, and got to get to work, and got to, do all the stuff. That all these other things can overwhelm that, and the essential things get overwhelmed by the urgency of the present moment. And so having a tangible thing that you're taking with you, okay, you're out and about, you're doing the things, you're all the things, you reach in your pocket, oh, look, my fasting stone is there. It's like, oh, this is like, it's like just a little check-in. This would be like the digital version of like an Apple Watch that you program to like just, whatever it does. I don't have one. It bumps you on every hour if you set it, and it can remind you to get up and do a little walk or something. That'd be like the digital version. Here's the analog version, which is like you've got the health stone. Maybe that you can make it anything you want. Say, oh, I find it in my pocket. Remember, I got to get up, take a little walk, or maybe helps you do a little breath check-in during the day. Call it a fasting stone, call it a health stone, connect every good thing to it that you want, and have it be a tangible reminder wherever you are at to kind of bump up the health priority during the day. Let's see, this thing feels good to hold, and this is another thing that I will glean out of it. It's smooth, it just feels good, something pleasant to hold. Just like fasting should feel pleasant. This is what I want a big focus to be for everybody on the channel. Fasting should feel pleasant. it's okay to have a line where it's kind of neutral, where you're like, oh, it's intense, right? We talk about the hunger wave. That's real. But like the other side of it and the goal and what we're working for and trying to train is that fasting really should feel pleasant, especially as you gain skill with it, okay? Fasting is an opportunity for the body to rest. It's an opportunity to shut down the digestive system, bring the total workload that the body is doing down, and it should feel like a calm, pleasant, thoughtful space. And so if you got a fasting stone, if you got a natural object of some kind, you can feel like, oh, this is feeling good. Help you to remember, like, hey, a fasting space should feel good like that. And if it's not feeling good to you, like that's a space to just kind of, that's a work. That's like work. I don't want people ever powering through something feeling awful, you know? You're getting into a fasting space, you're going in a way through it, you say, I'm not feeling it. I say, hey, take a break, you know? Try again tomorrow, you know? Like, don't push it, and give the body space to expand and grow and strengthen. So that's a good insight from this. Something like this, so easy to overlook. That's another thing. Like, okay, maybe on a different day, me too. I would have been on the beach, little wave comes in, there's stones all over the beach. You know, in one moment you grab the stone, in one moment you don't. It's so easy to overlook. In one moment you pick up a stone, and the next you just skip it back out in the water for 1,000 years as it rolls around. So something simple like this, so easy to discard and overlook, so easy to take for granted or not appreciate. And this is a big thing that I think about with this stone, because I could have done that with this stone. I've done it 1,000 times with other little stones. This is like what I see as fasting in our culture, because not really part of our culture. It's been a part of cultures for thousands of years. It's a core function of the human body. But I think for most people, for most of modern medicine, it's like a stone and we just skip it back out into the ocean, you know? And so when I think about the story of this stone, like how it went through its journey and it came, and I have it, right? We don't want to take fasting for granted. We don't want to overlook it. So easy to do in our society. We want to say, whoa, like, wait a sec, let's just wait before we skip it back into the water and just appreciate it and say, like, is it actually the case that we've missed? Because like our society wants bigger, better, more expensive, flashier, like techie, you know? And fasting is a total inverse of this. It's nothing. It's free. It has no cord. You can't Wi-Fi enable it, you know? And so on the one hand, it's like completely cerebral. You can't really point at it and say, here it is. So it's like very easy to overlook. Like you walk by it on the beach, you don't see it from anything. Okay, but when you find it, you say, oh, look at this. Like here is something that we've missed. Like our culture thinks you have to consume your way to health, but like really, we can just open ourselves up to it. That's the message of fasting. Open yourself up to health, and it can emerge from the body. So something easily overlooked. Another thing we can glean from the fasting stone. Another thing I would tell you that is in line with that, it has a hidden beauty. So you can't really see it in this thing, especially when it's wet. Like when you take it out of the water, I can't see it here in this lighting. You can't see it on this picture. When it is in the water, it starts sparkling. There's all these gold flecks in it that you can't see when it is dry. And then when it comes out of the water and you hold it up in the light, there's just thousands of sparkly little flecks. Never would have seen this. If you don't, you have to really look closely. You see, like, oh, this is really interesting. All these sparkly gold things, and you can't see it. So there is a hidden beauty in something so simple. Like, and how profound is that? And think about, this is what I see in fasting. Most people, okay, in our culture, see fasting, and it's like, oh, I think that's, do you think that's fair to say? That's like the initial reaction. Fasting, like, what is that? That sounds like the opposite of what I want to do. Like, sounds uncomfortable, unpleasant. Like, why wouldn't I just want to eat? Because I'm hungry, And it's like, and eating is good, and we consume our way to health. So if all these things are set up to make us not appreciate it, but then it's like a little stone, right? Let's like really dive in and look at it. Like, oh, look at that. It's like really beautiful. Really beautiful. A fasting process, hidden beauty. As you learn to do it and practice it, okay, actually, health can spring out of the body. Have you experienced it? You start learning to fast, and you say, well, I want to lose weight or something else, and all of a sudden, like, some other things are getting better. Like, this has been my experience with so many people. Like, I ran for many years a weight management clinic at the university. It's like people come in, they're struggling to lose weight. Okay, we go through all the different options, that you can do. Everybody doing everything that is on their path. But, and not everybody wants to come to do fasting just fine. But like someone says, oh, like, that's interesting. I try it. Then someone starts fasting and they're like, oh, like, hey, like, this is helping. I can do it. They're getting better. And then all of a sudden it's like, I was having acid reflux and now it's not so bad, Like, that's like a little sparkly thing in there. It's like, I started fasting and my blood pressure got better. Like you were not expecting. It's like a bonus, all kinds of stuff like this. I started fasting and this IBS that I was having, like, my whole digestive system feeling better. Like, it's good. Or it's like, I was losing some weight, but like my energy is increased. This may be the best part, or I'm sleeping better. It's like, are my joints not hurting so much? Like, so like all these things, it's like a hidden thing. You don't see it right away. There's not an instant connection where you think, oh, I'm going to start fasting and pain I'm having from arthritis is, going to be better. It's not like you can make some guarantee. But we did the talk the other week on chronic inflammation and how fasting can be bringing down chronic inflammation in the body. Inflammation got its hands all over the body, just like there's little sparkles all over this stone. You can't quite see it. And so fasting, because it's getting to the bedrock, the core of our metabolism, it has effects all over the body. Our cognitive functioning, right? Do you experience this as you get into a fasting space that as you're used to it, that you can function cognitively at a higher level many times? Like, when is the time when you're like at your like least cognitive horsepower, right? For me, it'd be like Thanksgiving dinner is over and I'm like zonked, I was like, put on the football game and take a nap, right? So like the opposite of that is a fasting space. None of the blood flow being directed to the GI system, everything available for mental horsepower, hormonally, everything dialed in. That's like also hidden beauty. And fasting stone helping us to see that, as an analogy. It's better with water. That's the thing. You can dry fast. I know people on the channel, some people doing that. And see, that's like another intensity level. And there are also benefits to dry fasting. But for my purposes, to make it as easy, because I'm talking about simple fasting, dry fasting, like advanced fasting, right? And more things to be careful with, especially if you have kidney disease or other sorts of things, okay? But to make fasting easy, okay, stay hydrated, just like The fasting stone needs water to bring out this true beauty, can remind you to stay hydrated during the day. That can help you in so many ways. Water help get you through. Sometimes I sit and I reflect on this stone. I think about the white line in the middle and how it's like a light in the darkness. It's like an individual ray of light crystallized in stone. To me, and also like a path, a ray of light, a path, a lot of darkness, a lot of confusion, right? Here is a path. It's a lighted path. You can stay on it, walk toward a goal. To me, think of this. You could hold this thing like a compass, pointing the way, right? To me, fasting is like that base layer. I don't talk, as you know, only about fasting. It's not like fasting is the only thing. Fasting is a tool of health, but to me, it's like the foundation layer. You use it as a lens, and you focus everything through it, if you're trying to lose weight especially. You channel through healthy eating, exercise, good sleep, stress management. You focus it through that fasting lens, help you navigate your way through the confusion of this modern time, because it's confusing, right? Everybody telling you, oh, do this diet, oh, do that diet, oh, you have to eat this way, oh, you have to eat that way. It can be very overwhelming. You say, I'm trying to make progress, and this makes it very difficult. Fasting kind of points you in that direction. Look at this, how there's like, do you see on the left, it's like the energy coming in, the light coming in, that white part, it's kind of disorganized. It's not quite heading in a straight direction. But then there's like that red line. The picture is not as red, I think. There's an intervention, right? Like the path is going along, there's an intervention, and then it's just straight on out there. You know, I'm trying to imbue as much meaning as I can into it. This is when this is me. This is when I learned about fasting. Like, oh, I didn't quite know what was going on. I learned about fasting. Whoa, it's like really, we're on the path after that. You know, another way you could like look at that is to say like, life is not always a straight line, right? And sometimes things happen that we don't expect, that break in to our path, and it just stops. Like here, you know, that the path is coming in and it hits a barrier, and you say like, whoa, like did not see that coming, right? But like, look, you came out the other side and carried on from it. And so different times when I've had a challenging thing, this helps me remember that, like, hey, we're going to make it through this like we've made it through these other things, and then we're going to carry on. All right, those are the main thoughts. I'm squeezing as much juice out of the stone as I can. Isn't that a saying? Like you can't squeeze orange juice from a stone or blood from a stone? I don't know. These are the main things that I usually think about for my fasting stone. Can a fasting stone be a thing? Can a fasting object be a thing for you? Can you find an object that you can tell a story around, that you can use to help guide you, to support you, fill with this meaning so that when you're in a difficult space, you can hang on to it tangibly and and help you stay on the course that you are moving toward. I hope you can. I think you can. I think in the midst of this, totally digital experience, I think it's a really thoughtful, reasonable thing to pursue. Let me know if you do it. Let me know your story. I'd be happy to hear about it. And, we can all learn from each other's experience about how we are diving in with a very simple, tangible practice to help us move forward in health. I put on the other day, let's see, I didn't update it, but let's see, Friday, I counted out 82 days left in 2025. So in our future sessions, we're going to be really diving in. How do we win the end of 2025? Set us up super strong through the rest of the year and springboarding into 2026. And I'm really, so far, very happy about diving in on this daily process. We will be taking a step at a time every day together down the path toward better health. Appreciate you all being here. Appreciate any feedback or thoughts. If there are specific topics you want covered, I've got a whole list. We're going to keep diving in those, but I want this to be your space. I want it to be the most helpful space that it possibly can be, a centering space, help you focus on core health practices that are moving you forward in a way that is, yes, helping move toward physical health, also better mental health at the same time, so that the whole process, it just makes our whole life better and is sustainable. And it's not the type of thing where we feel like, oh, I have to work so hard to keep this going. The space that we are wanting is more like a sailboat, right? Where it's like the breeze is carrying us on, the boat is doing the work, right? It's like fasting is doing the work. Fasting is like our sailboat is going to sail us in to 2026. I'm really excited about that. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for sharing this time with me, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone.